Hi guys, thanks for coming back to my channel. Sorry I haven't been posting as much as I'd like to, but I've just been so crazy and I've been getting sick. So today's the first day that I haven't sounded like a complete frog. So I decided to go back and do that cream contour video I mentioned. So we're just going to do like a full face cream contour. It's a little bit heavier. I wouldn't recommend this for everyday wear, but if you were doing um, like something in the theater or on screen or on film, something where you wanted a little bit more definition, more structure to the face, it definitely helps out with that too. So I have a few different products I use. You can use any type of creams or like a liquid foundation. So you don't have to use exactly what I'm using. It's just kind of the where to put it, how to apply it, all that fun stuff, okay? So stay tuned. This is the finished result. So hope you guys like it. Thanks for coming back and watching. So first you want to prime the face. Now you want to make sure nothing comes off, nothing transfers. So I'm going to use the Stay Flawless. It's the 15-hour primer by Benefit. So this primer here, it's in stick form and it's really nice because it does not let your makeup transfer. So that is perfect when you're doing a lot of creams, a lot of heavier makeup. You want to make sure it's going to stay put. The next step would be to do your regular foundation. You do want a nice even base when you're going to contour and highlight. So I'm just going to use my L'Oreal True Match. You don't want anything too heavy for this because you are going to be layering the creams on top. So I'm going in with my Sephora Mineral Powder brush and just doing a nice thin layer just to even out my complexion. And then with Benefits Erase Paste, I'm going to go in. If you have any blemishes or darker areas that you want to conceal, I would do that now because when you start putting on the cream contour and highlight, you're just going to like emphasize those areas. So you do want to make sure they blend into the natural complexion. And now I'm going to go in with my highlight color. Now these ones are cream stick foundations. I got them from a theater makeup class I took. So this is my lightest shade and I'm going to apply this. You can use a brush, a sponge. I'm just going to go right in with my fingers. And now you want to map out where you have the natural highlights on your face or where you want to create those. So right underneath the eye area, like above the cheek, you definitely want to have a nice highlight there. So just kind of lay on that product. And we are going to blend it out afterwards so you don't have to completely blend that in when you do that. And I'm going in on the nose and kind of bringing that up into the forehead too. And bring it down to the chin, the cupid's bow, and then underneath the cheekbone too, just to kind of make that contour pop when we do go in with the darker shade too. For the darker shade, you don't want to go dramatically darker. I mean, you do want to go about 3 shades darker than your natural skin tone. So I'm going to mix one of my darker browns with a lighter shade too, just to kind of get the right shade for my complexion. So you want to bring that color right under the cheekbone there. So this is going to go from your ear right down to that lip area. And like I said, we are going to blend these out too. And just make sure both sides are even because you don't want to have one side a lot darker or one side like crooked. And then you can also go in on the nose area. So on the side of the nose, you can kind of sculpt your nose to appear thinner, or if you have like a bump or anything, you can kind of even that out. So just go along really carefully on the sides of the nose there. And you can take a little bit off of the tip as well. And then you're going to bring it around, like up on the forehead into the hairline, because that'll reduce the size of the forehead and kind of just make that blend right back into the hairline. And once you have everything laid out, it's time to blend them together. So I have two different brushes. This one here is a small contour brush. I got it in a Sephora kit. And then I also have a larger blending brush, just for an eyeshadow brush. But you can start off by blending. I usually start with a darker shade just to kind of blend that out. And you do want to blend the colors together and just make everything seamless to each other. So it still wants to be natural. You don't want to go too intense. So just keep blending. You can never over blend. And then for the nose area, I'm going to go in with that blending eyeshadow brush, just because it's a little bit easier to blend the smaller areas with a smaller brush. And once all of your cream is done, we're going to go in and set that with powder. So I'm going to use, for the darker areas, I'm going to use a matte bronzer. You definitely want to use matte instead of a shimmer because it is going to go in those areas that are kind of receded back with the darker color. So I'm going to use a bigger bronzer brush and lay the bronzer right on top of where we had those darker contours. And so around the forehead, you can bring a little bit underneath too. And then even bring it on the nose area too with that smaller brush. And now I'm actually going to go back and conceal a little bit under my eyes. So I'm going to use my erase paste again, just to brighten up the eyes a little bit more before I set that with powder. So I'm using the Sephora concealer brush and just tapping that in with my fingers. So if you do want to add more of like a cream or a liquid, just make sure you do that before you set it with the powder, because it'll blend so much easier. It's a lot easier to blend creams on creams than it is to kind of do them on top of a powder. It doesn't always work out. And then to brighten a little bit more, I'm just going to go in with that lighter highlight color again and just layer that on top under my eye area. And then you want to make sure you blend that out again too. And so that's just going to really help to brighten under the eyes, just because I do have a little bit more darkness under there just because I've been sick and haven't been getting as much sleep. And now to set the rest of the face, I'm going to go in with the Revlon Color Stay powder. And I'm going to use a larger powder brush and kind of just tap this in and blend it all over, just so we can set the lighter areas and the rest of the face too. And you can kind of blend that in to the bronzer as well, just so everything looks nice and natural. And then for a little bit of color, I am going to add blush. So I have my Sephora blush brush and the Milani Luminoso, the baked blush. So this is just a nice, like peachy pink. It's good for every day. It has a nice shimmer to it. So you're going to go right on the opposite of your cheek and bring that back too. So kind of just a little above that darker contour we have, just to give a nice pop of color. And then with the Sephora highlighter, the Stardust, we're going to use this right above that. So this is going to be like a shimmer highlight. So that one we're going to layer on wherever we really want to stand out, wherever the sun's naturally going to hit it. So the same areas that we did highlight with the lighter shade, this will just add a little bit of a glow to it. And I'm just kind of blending everything together. And then our complexion is done. So after that, we're just going to go in and do a quick eye. So I'm going to start off by priming them with the Urban Decay Anti-Aging Eye Primer. So you just do a nice thin layer all over the eyelid, wherever you're going to have the color. I usually bring it right up into the brow area too. So it's going to help to keep the shadow from creasing and just leave it on all day too. So you're going to go in, I have my Naked 2 palette from Urban Decay. And I'm going to start off with Verve, so that's a nice silver shade. And I'm just going to do that all over the lid. So I have my larger eyeshadow brush, again, the same one I used for the contouring of the nose. So you're just going to pack that in right up into the crease a little bit. And then with Pistil, it's a little bit darker, so I'm going to go in with a smaller shadow brush, and this one we're really going to use to define the eyes. So we're going to go into that crease area to start in the outer corner and just sweep that into the crease and below too. So you're kind of creating that V shape and just sweep that down under the eye just a little bit. And it doesn't have to be perfect. We are going to be blending this out too. And then you do the same on the other side. And now with the larger brush, I'm just going to kind of blend out the outer edges. So you just go in quick little circular motions to really blend that out. Now if you were doing a more dramatic eye, I would do that before you did all your foundation, just so you don't end up having a lot of fallout and having to kind of start over because you put so much work into the foundation with the contouring. So if you were going to go dramatic, I would start that first. But our eyes, we're not going to go too dark today, so we'll be okay. And after I blended it, I'm just bringing a little bit of that darker gray back into the crease just to kind of make sure we keep that color. So the same way the eyes as it is with the face, if you use a darker color with a more of a matte finish to it, you're gonna that part is gonna kind of recede back, and the lighter shimmery shades like I'm doing on top there with the highlight and like the lighter one I have on the lid, that's gonna make it stand out more. So if you want your eyes to pop and appear a little bit bigger, you want to do like some darker shade on the outer corners and kind of just help to define the eye too. Now I am going in just to fill in my brows a little bit because they are so much lighter than my dyed hair. So I just have an eyebrow brush from Sephora brand, and then I'm going to use, it's the last shade in the Naked 2 palette, so it's Blackout. So I'm just going right over my brows with that and kind of just smoothing it out and making them a little bit longer too. And now I'm going to go in with my Aqua Shadow from Makeup Forever. This one's just like a light, like shimmery pink champagne color. So I'm going to go right under my eyes with that, right in the waterline, just to kind of brighten up and give a little bit of a shimmer too for under the eyes. And then the Urban Decay, the 24/7 liner in Zero, so this is their black. I'm just going to line the waterline up on top. So to just help when I do the line on top, and I kind of make the lashes appear longer too, longer and fuller. So I'm going a pretty thin line, bringing that into the inner corner. You want to stay thicker on the outer corner because that'll help to widen the eyes as well. And then I have that angled brush. This is actually just the same brush I used for the brows, and I'm kind of just smoothing out that line. You want to do the same for the other side. Start thicker on the outer corner and just make sure that line goes nice and thin as you bring it in. And again, you want to make sure both sides are even. And then you can always bring a little bit of the liner down, just the outer corners and the bottom too, just to kind of finish off the liner. And then I have my Lorac the Cobra Mascara. So this one gives me nice full lashes. And now I'm just going to go back in with the Blackout, so it's the darkest black shade in the palette, and kind of just layer that on top of my eyeliner, just to make it a little bit more intense, a little bit deeper. Okay, and the eyes are done. So that completes our look for today. I hope you guys liked it, and it's definitely not something you want to do every day with all those creams, but if you are going somewhere special and you want to have a flawless complexion, there you go. Thanks for watching.